Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. So I am here again this afternoon, this morning, this evening, depending on your time zone, to discuss about two things. One is about what happened in Nigeria on Easter Day. We know the attack in Nigeria these days is not on one place. I want to focus on what happened in the Benue State. Many of you have seen the video. It's trending. It's not that trending like I would like a big issue, because it is now finding people is now understandable. Yes, in Nigerian people are no longer seeing it as a shocking news. But in Benue State, a lot happened on Easter Day, and they buyed people like chicken. We are going to talk about Britain, how the king refused to give Easter message after giving messages, on Ramadan, for Islamic people. That's Ramadan that just passed, I think, uh, last month, being March. They celebrated their Eid al-Fitr, and not only that, the king, of course, have something to do with Islam. All this while, people have rumored that he's no longer a Christian. So we are going to link it up with what is going on in Nigeria. Remember, they are the one that colonized Nigeria, meaning that anything going on in Nigeria, as long as it's coming from Islamic world, it is understandable. And that is what King Charles is doing. Now, without wasting much time, please like the video and subscribe to the channel in case if you are new. So in Benue State, a lot happened there. Series of attack, apart from the one that happened in Plateau State, in Jos. Guess where Benue is located? It's just Benue share border with Enugu State. Makandi na ndị business with the king of the game, and the king go and go. They are not gonna save you. The intelligence and security personnel, whatever men they have and all that, cannot go to Benue to save anybody. No, it is haram. But the place they want to go is Nokigwe. I said it yesterday in our live broadcast that many of these people are just watering ground for Islamic jihadist people to take over. Just like as an insider, you are paving way for them to come in and conquer. We did not hear any church being invaded by Fulani, jihadist people, buying people, at will in eastern part. Why? Because people are still open their eyes. But these guys are busy going from place to place, village to village, to make sure that they open door for people, for terrorists to take over. What do you understand by that? This goes to people who claim that Udele and Ikenga, Keshosu, Jovika, and rest of them, the list go on and on, that they are doing something very, very good. I would like to start, like I told you, by showing you some videos or maybe pictures from Benue State. Maybe that will help you to understand what you're talking about. Okay, I would like to start by by showing you this. I'm not supposed to show you the video, the picture, because of the owner of the platform. But as you can see here, this is from Joseph Okechukwu. He made the publication and said, viewer discretion strongly advised. About 17 bodies have been recovered, many still missing after armed Islamic terrorists invaded Mabolo community in Gwewa East local government area of Benue State, and attacked Christians who were observing Easter celebration. This happened just on Sunday. Okay, just on Sunday. When is Sunday? Of course, yesterday. All right, just yesterday. They buy people. Their offense is being Christian. And governor of Benue State once said that there's nothing like a Christian genocide going on. That is not true. That people are just saying it just to do this and do that. Today, we are now having this news. It did not stop there. This is Ipayong, Benue State. Fulani terrorists slaughtered a youth leader and many others as the killing spread intensifies. As the killing spread intensifies, these Christians are literally abandoning their homes and belonging to run and belonging to abandon their homes and their belongings to run for their lives. Many many may never ever return. It is an established pattern. Look at it here. A Christian genocide is taking place in Nigeria right now. Few months ago, a lot of people were, oh, there's Christian genocide. Oh, I don't think it's a Christian genocide. Even than a Christian, than a brother, for example. I don't think it's a Christian genocide. A Reverend Father is the governor of Benue State, who once said that it is a genocide. He later, retracted his statement, started sounding as if he's, because once you belong to APC or you are very close to APC, forget about it. Your brain has been formatted. Your brain has been formatted. You can never remember or recall anything anymore. Watch. So what you are seeing now is in Benue State, different from the one that I shared with you just now. Another location in Benue State, because it's obvious that nobody is going to save Benue people. I don't want to remember what happened in 1967 because of this. You understand? Because that's one thing. That's one thing about life. It's always good for you to do something good, because tomorrow may be pregnant. Tomorrow is pregnant, not maybe it is pregnant, but what the tomorrow carries in its belly, what the tomorrow carries in its belly, in the belly of the tomorrow, what is going to deliver may not be things that you would like to see. It may not be things that you would expect to see. Doing good attracts positive return. These Benue people did something terrible during the Nigerian Biafran Civil War. Am I saying that because of that they deserve it? No. But what I'm trying to say is that let us learn from it. Even as an Igbo man, when you see bad things, condemn it. When you see good things, praise it. It may not be favorable to you, but say it for posterity's sake. For posterity's sake, say it. And stand on the truth always, because that's a reward, a very good reward. Now, Benue people are going through a lot. The government of the day and everybody kept quiet. They claim they're doing something. The target is to use Benue as a standing ground to attack Igbo land. Kogi is also bleeding. The level of kidnapping in Kogi is different from the one you see witnessed in the eastern part as well as we speak. Their own is so shocking. There's a video of one guy that called in an Honest Punch podcast, and what he said, exposed a lot of things that many of us don't know about the level of kidnapping going on in Nigeria. What he went through and what he passed through is not something that anybody will be, we take for granted. Still on Benue State, Nigerian soldiers forced us to pay for death cow, but who pays for the life of people killed? Okay, this one is not. This is in the Plateau State, because I made mention of Benue and Plateau when we started. I told that the kind of people in Benue State and what people in Benue State are facing, the report of Christian genocide in Benue, is also sounding the same voice, the same activities is also going on in Benue State. They are picking some of the vulnerable places because they are working simultaneously, planning and focusing on how to invade other towns they perceive to be difficult. When you come to Yoruba, Kwara State is also vulnerable, as the same thing with Ondo is also going through a lot. Lagos, they are laying their own strategies in Lagos. Lagos and eastern part may be the last, finishing touch. But Lagos will come before even East. East will be the last. Only it's going to be possible if you ignore what you are saying and if you ignore the message of Mazi Makana. The reason why they put Mazi Makana and put him in, sentence him and put him where he is today is not because he committed any crime. It's simply because of this. Why must you raise this alarm? Why must you wake the subconsciousness of some people who are now resisting this advancement of jihad? And when they try to shut Massacre down, they did not succeed. They have to go back to re-strategize by now using our own people to hold us down just because everything that Massacre have taught people is non-certain in the minds and the brains of many people. Even non-Igbos can testify to that. Look at it here in Plateau State, in Jos, and the which is a Plateau. He said, soldiers forced us to pay for death cow, but who pays for the lives of people killed? Plateau resident cried out after Fulani herdsmen killed 3 people. You get the point now. The same Fulani herdsmen, nicknamed bandit, and of course, all of them, they are the same. By the time they find out that they need more people in the army, they will tell you, oh, they have 300 repentant Boko Haram, and they will put them in Nigerian army. The same Nigerian army is what you are not expected to go to Plateau or Benue State to stop their colleague, to stop them from carrying out operation. Does it make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense. Just like you are working in a police, you are now a force man, and your father and your mother and your siblings are criminal and kidnappers, and you have to go there and you have to go and face them, probably unalive them. Do you think you will do that as a police officer? Very rare, very difficult to do. Now, hear this.
These Fulani people have been living in this land, and they have not taken even single permission from the community. We have not given them chance. We have not given them any space for them to live in our own land. And us, the real owners of the land, we cannot longer go there to even take our own farm. Our women cannot even go there. Us, the young people, to even go there to even search for what is going to help us, we cannot even get it because they have surrounded us. In fact, whenever we are even going there, if we are not many, definitely will experience this kind of incident. Like last 2 months. The same incident happened that 2 of my youth even died. And I have continued to plead with these youth that are here to even remain calm. I have continued to plead with them to remain calm. The same place that they killed 2 people that are around that time is the same place that the death of a cow was found last 2 weeks, where we were even called for a security meeting for a report. And they detained us that we must provide the people that listen. But where are the people that are listening? And we know that these Fulani people, based on the people that escaped, there's some Fulani people that were even running after this thing. Where are they now? But last week we have to even buy a cow for them. But who is going to pay the life of this week? And I want to call the attention of the government and the security agency. For so many months, I have continued to plead with this week to remain calm. And I cannot even stop everybody here from doing what they want to do. And then nobody should come and hold me responsible or hold any committee leader responsible of whatever is going to happen. So we are calling them. If they are not going to guarantee our safety, our security here, we will definitely allow the youth to even take their own step, whatever they want to even do. So I'm saying this from today. From today, I will not continue to even speak to the journalists. I will not continue to even talk with people like this. But if the security cannot, imagine since yesterday night that this incident happened, I have not seen, I have tried, I have called the sector, I have called the DSS, I have called the police people. If not only the police people, the big division that went to take the other person to the hospital. But nobody has even come here. No government officials have come here. So I'm still pleading with the governor of Plateau State, even with the president of Nigeria, to come to our own aid. Or if not, we cannot tell the people what they are going to do. We'll be left, in fact, we are going to allow them to do whatever thing they want to do. And no community leader should be held responsible.
Now, the reason why you will not see any government there is because government is also aware of what you're talking about, and they are the one that's paving way for them. You think that these bandits and terrorists have money to buy jets? We have seen jets oftentimes supplying something to them in the bushes. That can only happen when government is the one. When you allow a bandit to be in the government, what do you expect? Breaking that survivor of the Angwa Rukuba terrorist attack has reportedly passed away days after his interview, where he shared his experience during the Palm Sunday attack in Jos Plateau State. Very, very sad news. So this guy has also passed away. Okay, he's no longer living, and this is his interview according to Joseph Okechukwu.
We just saw people just get big lorry. They just come down in the shoot and we roll in the road. So we go enter one, we lock ourselves. There are some people they say, Nasas, then they go open the door. Then they will issue people again. So I go enter one school, one get there near the door. They go shoot the gate. And they get the time from the school. So they wear face masks like this to go everywhere. Their cloth where they wear is just something like this. The color of areas.
Very sad.
So now they watch out.
Very, very sad.
How many did you see? How many of them? There will not be counted. Not be counted. There are plenty.
At what spots were you going? So were you by the roadside or in the shop or where?
No, it's just, you know what I mean?
He couldn't make it.
They spread their step. Some of the enter was somewhere come to the Riawa Road.
So you were in.
Then I follow the Riawa Road.
So that girl that was shot. Do you know what happened to her? If she made it?
They rushed us to the hospital over here. So I don't know where they will be now.
So where were you hit? Where did the bullets hit you? Where were you shot?
From here like this. From here like this.
Side.
Public here.
Left thigh.
Right. Like one was shot. Like
And according to Joseph Okechukwu, he has passed on. He has died. Anyway, this is very, very sad. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very, very sad. All right. This issue of King Charles ignoring Easter message for a very long time now. People have been rumoring that this man he has converted to Islam. The Ramadan of this year, he gave a very good speech to Islamic people, to Muslims, and immediately after that, they hurriedly went to their pages and in their website and made it clear to everybody that he's not going to give Eastern message. I don't follow England. I don't pay much attention about what is going on in England because of so many reasons. All right, but this one is just for you to understand. The case of Master Americano, who has been held in Nigeria, even though he's a British citizen, who has been held by Islamic world and who has been facing, a kind of one trial that doesn't make any sense. They cooked up stories against him. It's just obvious that they're after him because of his exposition against Fulanis. British government have never done anything about it, and they're not going to do anything about it. Not only that they turned back on Muslim Americans who happen to be their citizens, they are even working with a country like Finland to go after another person like PM who also doing something to stop this jihad. When you have a king who called himself leader in Britain and he cannot stand on the side by side with Christians, what do you actually expect? UK has been converted. and I don't see them doing anything. Maybe but I don't see them doing anything, because in the name of democracy, Muslims are advancing and taking, space to plant themselves in all the strategic places for their own welfare. King Charles snubbed Christians, shot himself in the foot. You may say that he shot himself, but how? Does he care? He don't care. Listen.
Morning, gang. How are we all this morning? So, controversy reigns. Controversy reigns around the palace, around the royal family, Buckingham Palace. What is that controversy? Well, today is Good Friday. It's the start of Easter weekend. Yesterday was Maundy Thursday. And Buckingham Palace chose Maundy Thursday to put a statement out saying that this year King Charles would not be releasing an Easter message, would not be broadcasting an Easter message, would not be face the camera giving out an Easter message. That's caused a lot of controversy and a lot of uproar, and in many circles a lot of outrage. Why is that? Does he do it every year? Does the royal family always put out an Easter message? Well, the truth of the matter is no, they don't. It's a sporadic thing. They do it sometimes, they don't do it at other times. So why has it caused uproar and outrage this time? Well, because he has done it recently, over recent years. The priest and friar Calvin Robinson, who now lives in the USA, and he's a little bit of a controversial social media commentator himself, has released a statement saying that he has done it for the last 8 years, I think it is, on the trot, but has chosen this year not to do it. Now, that's his choice. As I say, it's not something that happens all the time. The previous Queen Elizabeth used to do it very often at all. So why is it causing trouble? Well, it's causing trouble because Charles did choose to put out a Ramadan statement a few weeks ago. So he did take the time out to make a statement about Ramadan, about Islam, and to wish people a happy and fulfilling Ramadan, but has chosen not to do it for Easter. Now, given what's going on in the country at the moment, given the rising levels of suspicion around him, given the fact that there are people claiming that he has converted to Islam, whether that's true or not, personally I don't believe that, but a lot of people do believe it. And this just adds fuel to the fire. It gives a lot of succor and a lot of support to people that make those claims. And whichever way you view it, it's clearly double standards. It's clearly two-tier. It's clearly hypocritical. Why would you release a statement celebrating Ramadan, celebrating the Islamic faith and wishing people a happy holiday period for themselves, and then not do it for the country that you are the head of the church in, not do it for Christianity, not do it for the Church of England? That doesn't make any sense. And not only does it not make any sense, it looks very suspicious. Even purely from a PR point of view, surely there must be people within the palace that understand how this is going to be received, that understand that this is not going to go down well, that understand that we are living in troubled times and divided times, and times where people will jump on any little thing to try and make something of it. Not that this is a little thing, because it is quite serious. So,
all right. So from long time now, it is not a news that UK, Britain, always have controversial government. Controversial in the sense that the way they treat other people in Africa, for example, is questionable, or black race. The history of England or the UK is not all that clean when it comes to black people. And this is about Islam, not about black people. But why I have to say black is because Britain colonized Nigeria, and in the time that we are now, what is going on in Nigeria, the agitation, the genocide, the level of terrorism in Nigeria today, it's supposed to be a wake-up call to Britain. Other countries are looking up to them to know what they have to do or say about Nigeria in particular. If not America, no other country would have stepped in to even help you, because every other country still believe that Nigeria is still in the palm of UK. And Nigerian politicians actually helping that kind of thing to trend, because they can't even make a choice like to choose a leader without going to UK to solidify that person, and that is where they will crown you before you even win election. If they say no, they will internally they will sponsor and fund, anybody that is gonna do their bidding as a president, as a leader in Nigerian government, and that has not helped Nigeria since so-called independence. So now that Christian genocide is on, do you know that this king or government, British government, have not even officially made a statement about Christian genocide going on in Nigeria as we speak? That every other country can see that they have not said anything. If you're in doubt, go and watch a video of Tinubu in England. In all the conversation or the outing, the meeting they had there was never a time British government talked about the buying of people, the genocide going on. Not at all. Even if to them, if they say don't see it as a genocide, because I don't think they believe there's a genocide going on. For the fact that the Sultan of Sokoto and everything is their head office in Nigeria. So anything is possible. If you're a British citizen and you're a Christian, believe you me, you are being led or controlled. You are living it under Islamic world as we speak. And whom you guys, when I say you guys, I'm talking about British government have ignored and used him to your own favor, laid a cause that Britain will be finally dominated and conquered by Islam, and they're gonna receive it hot. It's not a prayer, it's not a prediction, it is actually a prophecy. Judging by what the pastor have said in the past, you cannot take his word for granted. You can't just take it for granted because he's a black man. He said, if you do not stop if you do not stop meddling in affairs of Biafrans and in Nigeria, you will lose your own, legitimacy. Your own land will be gone. And in England today, in the whole Europe, if you want to talk about the fastest advancement of Muslim, the country that I actually opened door that is facing a lot of Islamic challenges as we speak, Britain is number one. France, yes, but Britain, is number one. So if you know, you know. I'm not gonna play the video of the man again, all that long because I don't want any copyright. But the message has been passed. It is official. Because if I come here and say, oh, King Charles did not send the Christian message, you send any message on the Easter period, on the day of Easter message, but he actually made a very powerful speech on Ramadan period just a few weeks ago. You may see this guy that is talking about the disintegration of Nigeria. You always hate Nigerian because they will target Nigeria. That I'm the one that make it up. I did not make anything up. I didn't make it up. You can hear it from British citizens themselves. Let me know what you think about it and what is your take on what do you have to say, or what do you learn from the killing going on in Nigeria as we speak. As an Igbo man, your region is still not that hot. It should be a wake-up call. If you don't do anything, you cannot continue this way. Neither hot or cold, lifestyle. No, you can't continue pretending, oh, today is hot, today. No, you have to choose for yourself who you serve. Without it, your land, your village may be in the hands of what is going on in Benue. I don't wish anybody anything. I don't pray that any place will face this kind of thing, especially from eastern part. It's not my prayer, but you need to be fearful of that and begin to do something now to avert it. What are you going to do to avert it? Support the USB government and stand on the side of the truth. God bless you and take care of yourself. See you again. Bye-bye for now.